Hello, everybody. Welcome one more time to Reverse Engineering Mindset Conversations. One more time, we have here today a really special guest, and I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for being here, Nan. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Nah, no, it's my pleasure. I'm really want to immerse into some really amazing things that you're doing. But first, uh, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us. And I just want to acknowledge you because talking to you behind the scenes, we did a program together, and it's just like I can see a lot of evolving. And it's fascinating to be talking finally, because you're usually quiet, but now we're gonna be able to dive into it because you went from the corporate world into the coaching. But before we dive into that, I really want to start with who's Nan? Who is she?
Hi, this is me. So just a big background. I'm dialing in, or I don't know what this zooming in from London right now. So in the UK, but I was born in Vietnam. So I'm originally Vietnamese, and then I grew up in Moscow before coming to UK. So I've been in the UK now for ages. I can't even remember how many years now. And yeah, and now I'm a life coach. So me and Omar from Jay Shetty's. And
Yes.
actually, every time I look at you in this setting, I think about our NLP sessions. My brain
Excellent.
associates.
This is awesome. Nice. Now, you just mentioned that you're part of you're from the UK. You obviously are experiencing something just like I think many of us, right? That we're trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
How is that affecting you, or it has affected you at the moment?
Yeah. So we are in another national lockdown right now, and we had our first one in March. And I think at the beginning, as for everyone, it was a shock. It was something new, and you didn't know what was happening. I couldn't go and see my parents, so my parents are in US, and I think they're joining. So if you're there,
Nice.
and then lots of things changed. You couldn't see your friends. You couldn't go anywhere. I think I've never been on the phone, on Zooms or FaceTime so much in my life. And I think at the beginning it was hard because it's a different reality and lots of uncertainty. But looking back, I'm actually grateful for a lot of things that happened since the whole COVID happened. So even though it's been hard at times, lots of good things also happened. For one thing, I became a coach during that period. That was one of the biggest changes for me. And I actually connected a lot with a lot of my friends and family. So that brought us closer, even though we were so far apart and we couldn't see each other.
Yes.
And also did a lot of things that I probably wouldn't do if it wasn't happening. So when we were allowed, we traveled. So with my friends, we went to visit places in the UK, which I've always wanted to go to, but it's always let's go somewhere else in Europe or somewhere else. So I actually got to explore the country that I'm living in at the moment. It's still hard at times because you're still limited in terms of what you do, but I try to focus more on what you can still do rather than what it's not there. I mean, I can still talk to my friends. I can still talk to my parents. I can still go out for a walk. I'm still there. I'm still here. I mean, so I'm grateful for that.
This is really awesome because I can resonate so much with you because for me, this is one of the greatest things that ever happened. I've been craving, just like you, for a pause. You didn't say that, but like for me, I was craving for a pause in my life because obviously I subscribed to the JCT school and I didn't know how I was gonna even get it done. All I knew, I'm like, I need to do it.
Yeah.
And then when the pandemic happened, I'm like, oh, this is it. Like this is it, bingo. And,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that you taking coping a different approach. You obviously immerse into the school, but before we dive into it, you immerse into the school, and I'm always writing me about connection, and it seems like the connections with your family, friends went a lot more deeper. So
Mm,
that means in order for you to go deeper with the connections with your family, you have to go deeper with the connections within yourself.
yeah.
And I want to dive into that a little bit. But before we dive into it, we were speaking behind the scenes, and you been in the corporate world your entire life.
Yeah.
And then you here as a coach. What inspired you? What really, really, what was the trigger that he got you into it? You know what? It's time for change.
Mm. So I thought about that a little bit. So I've had two jobs before becoming a coach. Um, Hi, Alina. So I was in financial services for 8 years, and then I decided to switch to a small tech startup. And that for
Mm,
me was the first um, big change, if you like want to say that, because it was something completely new, doing something completely different, a very different role in a very different environment. I knew nothing about tech at the time. Like, I mean, I can use a laptop and everything, but like the first day when all the guys, the developers, were talking the languages, I was like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Um, but looking back, um, when I made that decision, it was similar to how I made decision to become a coach. You know, when you just feel this is the right choice for you.
mhm,
I went for an interview. I saw the office. I felt the vibe, and I was just like, I would really love to work here. And
mm,
even though not everyone probably supported or understood why I would make this choice, because you're going from a big, stable, corporate, very well-known company to a small startup which no one has ever heard about, which might not survive. So you might end up without job, for you have no idea what the future is. But for me, I was like, this is what I need. This is for me. And
mhm,
I never really regretted it. It was 4 years in this tech startup, which was probably 4 amazing years. And
mhm,
I've made so many friends who are like family to me right now. And we're still in touch like every day, even
mhm,
um, after we like all left the company. And the same was with coaching. So it happened that I already finished at the startup when the coaching opportunity came up with Jay Shetty. And again, it's that when you listen to yourself and you're like,
mhm.
this is me. This is
Yeah,
what I really want to do.
yeah.
Um, and I signed up. I paid for the program, and that's it. I was like, I can't think of anything better to do right now. And again, it proved to be like the best decision that I could take, even though I went
Mhm,
all in. And yeah, as I mentioned to you, this is now basically my life and my career being a coach.
yeah. This is really, really awesome. I want to acknowledge you for having the courage and you being able. I want to dive a lot because you say so many things, and they're not easy. They're not easy to do. And I'm not quite sure if you realize because I'm going to mention it to you. Because for me, I'm like, that is really powerful what you said. But first, we're going to say hi to Alina. Alina, thank you so much for being here. Alina is always here supporting. She was part of the show. Thank you so much for being here. Alejandra, muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much for being here. Really like this program. I'm glad that people is liking this program because this program is for you guys. So, uh, you mentioned two things, all right? And they are really powerful for me because I do resonate with them. Mentioned you follow your that feeling. You don't even know what it is, but you just feel it. And the number two, you block all the noise. What I always tell people, I'm able to block that noise. The people listen like, nah, nah. Before I used to listen to it and didn't feel right.
Mm.
It got myself into situations that weren't very pleasant.
Yeah.
But then I started listening to that feeling into myself, blocking the noise. That is really powerful. This is not easy to do, I had to say.
Thank
And
you.
having that courage to make it happen is even more difficult, especially for you as a in the corporate world where you have the benefits, like you have a life pretty much just like, you have all these great things, but now you're diving this into this life where it's very, uh, it's not very well known, it's
Mm.
unfamiliar, but I can sense you just like at peace. And that for me is fascinating, I'll be honest with you. To me, I think it's really cool. I think it's really awesome. And because people ask me, it's like, how does that? I don't know. It's just like, I just don't know. It's just a feeling. You just feeling. You just like center. You just like having a good time, right?
Mm. You know what it is, and I've heard it in one of the workshops I attended. It's when everything is aligned within you. It's what you love, your thoughts, and that's basically your real you. When everything
Mm-hmm.
is that is aligned with what you're doing, I think that's
Yeah.
where that peace is coming from. Um,
Mm.
and yeah,
Yeah. No, that's pretty awesome. Now, what do you think you will say to your younger self when she obviously wanted to experience and explore more?
mm.
Right? You say that this pandemic was the one that it helped you to make connections. So that obviously there's something there. What do you think? What would you say to that, to your younger self prior to the pandemic?
Um, I think just follow your that voice. You know, your voice and not the noise, like you said,
Yeah.
not that noise.
Yeah.
Um, and I think what you mentioned before, it's important to make that decision when you have that feeling, because now you know how our brain works. It's something first you say, yeah, it's amazing, and then suddenly the brain goes back, whoa, 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 no, it's something new, it's something uncomfortable. Go back to where you were, and then it's
Mm.
very easy then to change your mind, and then like, oh no, I'll do it another time. Maybe it's not for me.
Yeah.
Um, and actually, it's looking back at my experiences, I probably wouldn't change anything in terms of what I've done before.
Yeah.
Um, and I would just tell my younger version, or I would just experience life and like keep being open and curious about everything, and
Mm-hmm.
not limited. Like, I mean, life is unlimited, right? There's so many
Yeah.
things if you are willing to be open to it. So
Mm-hmm.
open your mind, but listen to your heart, really, and
Yeah.
follow it.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Gerald say hello. I really like what he's been saying here. And obviously, Crystal San is here, and
Hi,
she's
Crystal.
clapping. Would you say? And there's a question, and I think it's important. But then I want to go back a little bit because you just say something really interesting that I really it's fascinated for me to listen to that because it's powerful what you've been saying. Now, Alina says, "Nan, could you be choosing a different niche if you didn't work in the corporate world?"
Do you mean from the very beginning, as in like my very first job,
I
or do
think
you
what she means is
mean
just in the corporate world, it doesn't matter. I think in the corporate world, just a very well defined line between the corporate world. So I think it's just in general, like, would you be choosing a different niche if you didn't work in the corporate world?
um, I think because I can relate to it more, and a lot of my friends are in corporate world, so I get a lot of that experience. I kind of feel what they're going through, and that helps me as well, to relate more to my clients. And also, I've been through that as well, so I feel like that's close. That's close to me as a personal
Uh,
experience. Yeah.
I'm glad that you're touching that. How do you feel? Like, because you're touching, like, you feeling, like, what is it? What is the feelings? Because I can tell you from my own feelings when I was part of the corporate world. I can tell you, and I'm like, oh man, this is not. Now I can articulate better. But for you, how do you feel?
Um, so the way I feel, probably because I know myself so much better now, and I look back at the person I was when I was in corporate world, and I think back then I was kind of in a cage, like this is
Mhm.
what everyone does in the corporate world. Well, that's how I felt at least. And even trying to find for another job, I always had that limiting belief that, but I'm only done this. I was in tax, right? How I'm gonna go and do something else. And a lot of my like friends like resonated with that, and that was the thinking. Um, but I'm not saying that's the case with everyone.
Yeah.
So now often when I hear people talking, I kind of straight away in my head, I was like, I want to challenge you. Is that really the case? Have you thought about something else? Like, that different perspective, like what we do in
Yeah.
coaching, see it from a
Hmm.
different angle, see it from a different perspective. It's
Hmm.
really the case. So yeah.
No, no, thank you. And it's true. Like, you feeling like you say that you felt like you were in a cage. For me, when I was in the corporate world, I didn't know why I was doing a lot of the things, but I knew they were right because I'm always helping people. I was a manager for a company, for a sales company. I didn't know why I was doing it, but I knew it was right for the
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with the values of the company because they made me sacrifice people to save the numbers. That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, this just doesn't feel right. Why you making me send people home? Why do I need to sacrifice these people? This is their own income. That was passing through my hand because the more I was getting into people, get to know people. I was like, why you making me sacrifice them? I'll go. I even sacrifice. I say, I'll go home. Like, trust me, I'll go home. Don't send them home because this is their only income. Prior, that was my only income too. But I'm like, it's fine. Send me home. And they'll be like, you're crazy. You're not going home. You're the money. You're not able to go home. I'm
Yeah.
like, but that's the only income. And now, because now I can articulate better. Back then, I didn't understand why. I think when you come out of that, like you say, that cage, you're like, oh, that you can see it from a different end. You're like, oh, I'm so glad and I'm grateful that I did what I needed to do. Because sometimes I think we do it, it's just a feeling. You just do it. And I remember having people telling me, you're gonna fail. You don't know what you're doing. You're crazy. You're stupid. You name it. Anything. And what was more crucial for me or more like hurt is that it was from some people that I really they were my friends.
Mm.
And because you have that people telling you, I didn't know how to block the noise back then, but I don't know how I did. And I said, I don't have a choice. I just gonna do it. And I jump into the limbo. Then a different story happened from there because I don't recommend what I did to anybody. I'll be honest with you. It
Okay.
was crazy. I'm always like doing some crazy changes. It's not like probably you planning and things like that. Me, I'm just like I read a book 2 weeks later, reading the book, I quit. I'm like, okay, well, quit. I'm just like, I don't know what's next. I didn't have a choice. So
But that's what I was talking about. When you have that feeling, you read something and it clicks, and you want to do it. I feel like you should do it at that moment rather than when you go back to your norm and you're being pulled back to your comfort zone, and then suddenly all of everything you've read is like, yeah, that does not make any sense. Why would I even go and do that, right?
yeah, it's true. Now you are into this change. You made the change. You made the jump. What tips can you give to someone that is in that stage where you were and is wants to make that change or wants to make that jump
Mhm.
into trying something new, trying something different?
Yeah.
You know.
Essentially, I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today, and she's been in a job that every time I spoke to her in the last 5 years, she was always complaining and saying, I hate this job, my boss is horrible. And she wants to change, but the one thing I told her is take your time to decide actually what that change is going to be like for you. Because I find that often we just so quick to jump into the same thing. I don't know whether it's out of fear or just because it's easier to go for the same thing. But what if you just stop for a bit and think about what else is out there? And it's again reconnecting to yourself, right? Often we can be so into the daily work you're doing, and that's all you know. But maybe there's so many other things that you're good at, and maybe you actually want to try in that one of those areas, like one of your hobbies. Maybe you could be really good at that. And I think it's important to actually understand what that would mean to you. So when I did the 6 days before signing up to Jay's certification, like every day I did some like the task or listen to the videos. I was like, this would be awesome. I can see myself doing this. Like, this is me. And when you have that feeling, I think like explore what you can do about it. But just make sure this is something that really, when you think about it, you can really connect to. And that really speaks to you and not other people who might be doing it. At the end of the day, you'll be doing it, not your friends or your family, right?
Yeah.
You'll be doing this job every day. So it has to bring yourself like a smile to your face and you actually want to wake up and do it.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that sometimes it might not be possible to go straight away for what you really want, but then you can find a way to slowly make it happen in that direction. And that's one thing that coaching has probably taught me, that there are always options if you think about it. If you're willing to spend some time, think or talk to someone, right? Often like when we're in that problem, in that question, day in, day out, there's only that one or two options you keep thinking about, right? But then if you just say it out or discuss it with someone, often like I've been surprised how many options there are out there once you just actually start exploring and thinking about it.
This is brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing all this, because it is true. It is surprising. This is powerful what you just said. It is surprising once we start looking at from a different perspective. And I think, well, we oftentimes get so stuck in our own perspective,
Mm.
and we do not give ourselves, or we allow ourselves to look at the glass. If I have a glass, like for example, this cup of water, it has water. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's a glass. If I put wine, it's still a glass. It's a glass of wine. If I put soda, it's still the same, but it's still a glass. And I think that's what it is. It's just like depending of what you see, or what you put into it, or what meaning you put into it. That's the meaning that you're gonna have.
Yeah.
And you say it very well. This is brilliant. Thank you so much. This is really, really awesome. Now, you obviously been diving into the personal growth. You've been
Mm.
diving into getting to know more about yourself, about your calling, and you were mentioning behind the scenes that you really enjoy the corporate world. It's not something like you just mentioned your friend, like, I hate this job, I hate that. You didn't say those words. At least you didn't use the words when I ask you
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes. You say, actually, I really enjoy. And that is what fascinating to me, that you still enjoy, but then you're going into something that is just really known. It takes a lot of courage, though. It takes a lot of courage, and that takes a lot of trust in yourself. And I don't know if you recognize that, or if you even know that,
You know what
because
you're doing? You're doing a coaching on me. Are you getting me realize?
I'm doing, I'm doing good. It is true.
It's true.
You
Like
know?
that. I often don't recognize that. So thank you for saying that,
Whoa,
because
whoa.
we can also like being a coach, like still we need coaching as well, right? And there's still, yeah, I like, so when you said it, I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's true.
It does take a lot of courage, and the reason why is because yesterday we were doing a program on the empowerment for women,
Mm,
and to hear, obviously I'm a male, and it is way different. That's the reality. But that doesn't mean that you better, I'm better. It doesn't matter. We're just
mm,
different. You are yourself, I am myself, and that's it. And to do what you did, you need a lot of courage, and you need to trust yourself. You need to believe in yourself. But what you the fact that you just say, you're just like, oh, I don't see that. I'm like, okay, so what is it? What do you think? Like, no, this is blown my mind. It just blown my mind right now because it's so hard, right? Because we're always trying to give, and I
mm.
always tell people like we're really good at noticing pain and feeling it, but
Yeah.
not really good at noticing uh, the strengths, potential, and the potential and growing it.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, when I see the potential in somebody, I'm like, I need to emphasize this, and but that's who I am. Like, you need to enforce this, because to do that, like, what did you do? Like that makes me wonder, how in the freaking world did you do it then?
Uh,
I'm really
I
intrigued.
can absolutely resonate with what you're saying, because I'm same when it comes to other people. I can see their potential. I can see you amazing at this, but I'm still working on myself in terms of acknowledging what I do and what I've achieved. Like celebrating myself, right, with everything. Sometimes I actually have to take a day, spend a day, and saying, look back at everything I've done. And at
Mhm.
those moments, I have those realizations, but not all the time. So like I need someone like you to remind me from time to time.
So I'm just repeating what you just sharing with me, because I mean, I'm like, wow, like you really no, it is true though. Like it's really hard for us to notice like what we're doing sometimes. It's really hard to acknowledge, and especially I always tell people, man, you gotta celebrate those small wins. Like the small wins, it's like your favorite meal, right? It's just
Yeah.
like your favorite meal. The reason why you like your favorite meal is because you know how it tastes. You know
Mhm.
how it feels. You know what it like how it feels completely.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to your to the small wins, so to do that, you have to know what it tastes like, what it feels like, so you can crave it more. The reason why you crave your favorite meal is because you like it, you enjoy it. So
Yeah.
that's what I say, like celebrate the small wins. And Odette's here. Hello, Nang. Hello, Omar. Hello, Odette. Thank you very much. And they're just having a good time in the chat, as you can tell. And there's
Mhm.
somebody here, Crystal. Hello, Nan. You mentioned not everyone in your life supports your career move. This is really good because that's what I say. You're really good at blocking the noise, and that's what I'm telling you. I'm not the only one. See, she's saying it too. How do you deal with it? What advice could you give to someone who's dealing with similar situations? Thank you
Yeah.
for asking. That's a beautiful question. Thank you so much, Crystal.
Um, I'd say it's hard when actually when it comes to people who are really like the closest people to you who don't support you. So it takes a lot of, I'd say for me at least, it a lot goes to being emotionally agile in that sense, like knowing what I'm feeling. And I know those people who don't support me, they mean well. I know like they come from the best place, because they worry in terms of what if I don't make it happen, what it's going to mean for me. They just don't want me to get hurt. And I know that. So I don't see it as them going against me, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to see where they are coming from. And I don't take it personally when this comes up in the conversations. Um, and at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself a questions why you want to make this change for yourself, this career move. It's for you. And if someone is having a different opinion, it's their opinion, right? We all have different opinions, but we all we all see the world from different perspective, from different lenses, right? And we all have different experience and background. So everyone has their own reasons why they might not see the same way as you do. From my personal experience, if it's someone who is really close to you, have an honest conversation. Just be honest with them and stand up for your truth and why you're doing that. And I think when you're honest and say your truth, the other side will actually see and accept your view and your opinion. It's often when you don't say things, I find that's when you make it worse. So you kind of both have your own opinion, they don't support you, you want to do this, and then it's just kind of clashing and everything.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This is beautiful, man. And it's very powerful what you say. And there's three things that you say that for me I really, really admire. And I want to thank you for sharing that. The number one, you say, understand that they don't want to hurt you. That they, it's true. I now I go back to these people, like I said, for me, for myself, when I look at my friends, I don't think they want to hurt me. They were looking out for me. They were worried because they see me, they see a side that that's the only side that I show them so far, because I haven't showed the other side, right? But I'm the one that is experiencing it. And you say, they just want to see you happy, but it's their own definition of happy. And I think when you make peace with that, a lot more things become more clear. At least for me, became more clear when I made peace with them. I said, that's their opinion, that it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up there. I already know how this one feels, but I don't know how it feels on my right side. Let me go to my right side. And for me, I'm always looking that for more. And you obviously say that very well. The second thing you said, just having a conversation is straightforward. And I think we're so afraid to talk to sometimes to the people, because all this monkey mind, right? The monkey mind is just like, oh, should I talk to them? No, maybe you don't know. Maybe should I talk to them? Oh, why not? Like, how about they think? Are they gonna get hurt? No, I don't want to hurt. I mean, it's just like that, right? That's how we think. And then number three, you say just ask yourself those questions. And I think that's really hard. And that's what I said. Like you've been working so much with yourself, and I keep repeating it because this shows that it's true. You had to ask yourself, get to know, do I like this? Do I enjoy this? How did this one feels? And I think a lot of times we do things because we heard, but sometimes it's like, I just wanna do it. I just wanna try it. Do I like it? It's just like you're going to a restaurant.
Exactly.
You order the menu. If you like something, you're going back, but you don't know if you're gonna like it, but you just still try it. And if you go back, that's me because you like it. But you're not gonna know, as everybody can tell you. You go to McDonald's, it tastes good, but I guarantee you it doesn't taste good. I can tell you. you know? Only when I'm mad or when I'm just like in a different mood. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, this is so good. Like I'm really hungry, right? This is the last thing. But that's just what I'm trying to say. Now, I want to stay here a little bit because, like I said, what you say is powerful. What is it that you obviously, who's the people that you work with? What is the people that you guide and that you help in at the moment?
Yeah. So at the moment, I'm focusing on so people from similar corporate background who succeeding in their professional life, but often to the detriment of their personal life. And when I say personal life, I mean everything else, right? So I want to help them to succeed not just professionally, but also in other areas of life. Because what I found I used to do, and I can see a lot of people fall the same, like you're getting consumed by work, or even if you want to do something, often it's like work just takes so much from you, time, energy, and then you keep pushing all your, like, I want to do this, I want to experience that. That keeps pushing down the list, and like a year later you look back and you still haven't done. So I don't want this to happen. I want people to be able to experience life outside of work and find that definition of happiness for themselves in terms of what that means to be happy, not just when they're like succeeding at work, but let's say in relationships, in health, or whatever it is for them.
Yeah, this is really really amazing what you just say. Because it's literally you experience that whole entire thing. You were saying at the beginning, push everything away. Like
Mhm.
the pandemic actually helped you to get the connections deeper with your family, because there's a stop, and it's asking you like, "Oh, what are you gonna do now? I took away anything and everything is external. Now what are you gonna do? You have no other choice to inquire in, to really ask yourself those questions, right? So it's really awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Now, Odette says, do you find corporate employees are open to coaching? That's one question. She has like break 20 here. It's called that. Bear with me. Now the second is that coach can help corporate employees resonate with their why in order to achieve results. Intrinsic motivation yields the best results. Coaching is key. Now, do you find corporate employees are open to coaching in your own, obviously based on your experience?
Um, I think so. I honestly, I don't feel like corporate employees are different from other clients in a way. It's more like that their experience with work is that probably a bit different. I see them as still as any other human being I might come across in my coaching. And I think it's like us being coaches, what's important is once you have that connection with your client, and I'm not saying that happens all the time, you might meet people who you just don't click with and you decide not to work with them. But I think once you have that connection and that trust, that's
Mhm.
how you get the process going. And that's when I think everyone is can be coachable if they want to, and I don't think corporate employees are different from any other.
Yeah, thank you. This is really good. Uh, I love the fact that you said that you're pretty much stripping down the labels.
Mm.
That's what you just said. You pretty much like take the labels. It's just another human being that I'm going to be guiding, I'm going to be helping. And I think that's really key, because when you start stripping down, and goes back to, like I said, you and I did a program. That program for me, you asked me how. Like for me, it's everything. For me, like literally, like it opened my minds into things that I never imagined.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're doing the work. We did the work. We continue to do the work. It was nice to hear from you that you continue to do the work, the affirmations and all this. And I'm like, oh, at least I'm not the only one still doing the work, because it's a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
But it is great that you're seeing your clients, and always have people like, how do you see your clients? If you really want to help them,
Hmm.
you just said you had to strip all the labels.
Yeah.
But how do you see your clients?
You know what? It's going back to that course that we did together when we're saying like everyone is unique and with their own view of the world,
Yeah.
and you can't judge anyone by their behavior because you don't know
Yeah.
this. And to me, like every time you meet someone, your client, it's like a book you've picked up, right? And you have no idea what that book is about. But if you
Yeah.
stay curious and you're willing to read this book and just turning page by page, that's how you get to know your client, and being patient, being there, just following through their story. And then, yeah, you get to know them. And that's how I think that's how I can see.
Yeah. This is very beautiful. Well put. It's just like a book. You don't know what you're gonna find until
Yeah.
you go into it.
Yeah.
And everything that you've been saying, it talks about the process. And finally, you use the word process. This is the first time you mentioned the word process.
Yeah.
And I love that, because I'm quite sure if you realize, but you actually love in the process. You don't even know, but you really enjoy in the process. And for me, I find it fascinating, because I always tell people, I'm like, the 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 magic is in the process.
Mm, yeah.
And the magic is where is everything in the process. We have the goals. You're gonna achieve those. When I don't know, it might be in a week. It might be in a month. It might be in 1 year. It might be 4 years. I
Yeah.
have no idea. Those are metrics. But if you're having fun with the process, it's not
Exactly.
in having fun doesn't mean that you all the time happy. Because now you gotta be happy. You wake up in the morning, I'm not happy. What's wrong with me? Like, is something wrong with me? I'm not happy. Like, what's going on, right? That's not that. Having fun, whatever definition of fun, and for me, it's like this is fun.
Yeah.
This is like I'm like, man, this is like I'm having the greatest time of my life. I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you, I'm really enjoying like doing all these things,
Hmm.
and for me, like I do resonate a lot of the things that you say. What do you think, or why do you love the process so much?
You, you know what? When you said fun, this is what it is. Like I don't see it as work. You know,
Mm,
everything I get to do, and there are some not maybe the most exciting stuff that you have to do as part of this when you kind of
mhm,
deal with your business, but it's still fun. It's like it's the whole journey getting you there, right? And that's what helps me to appreciate it so much. Like all the people you meet, everything you get to learn, even outside of coaching, and like not even talking about all the clients you get to work with, right?
yeah.
And for me, it's not just about getting to the goal; it's enjoying and having fun. So that's when you said fun, I was like, yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So like everything you do, like I'm trying to see, oh, how can I make it fun? What I'm going to get out of it, and that's kind of stops you thinking, oh, I have to do this. This is kind of another thing, though. I think it's just changed the way you look at things, and that's changed the mindset of
Mhm.
everything you have to deal with, everything that comes your way.
Yeah. This is not where in the freaking work have you been? Where have you been? Guys, I seriously, it blows my mind. Like when I find people, I'm like, where in the freaking world have you been? Why you guys are hiding? Like people need to hear all this. This is the reason why I created this program. Like it's mind blowing. It's just like I love the fact that it's true when you look at things from a different perspective. You continue to say that and do that, and it's very powerful. It's very powerful, and the talent that you have is incredible. Though it is amazing. It is mind blowing. Obviously, we did a program, but I'm like, I know these people. You've been so quiet, right? Because you've been so quiet, and even jumping into here, I don't know what I'm getting myself into it. But you're gonna get something good stuff like out of here, right? Uh,
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question, and you obviously jumped from the corporate world. Now you're doing the coaching. But why did you decide to go for the JCT certification? What put you there?
Um, so truth is, I had no idea. Knew nothing about coaching. And the moment that came up as an option, I just went Google, started searching for. I was like coaching schools, or I can't remember what I was like. What do I search for? And then I I came across
Great.
a couple of websites. I opened them, and I think 2 seconds later, I just closed them. I just couldn't even scroll down. It's just like you don't feel like I want to read this, and it didn't resonate to me. And then I saw Jay's, and before I knew it, I was just reading through his website, just reading everything that was there, and I was like, oh wow, this guy is awesome. And then I was like, oh yes, this is cool. I didn't know about Jay before. Like I I was not in the coaching world at all, so I wasn't familiar with any of that. And then that's it. I signed up for the pathway, the 6 day
Mhm. Yeah.
course. And when I finished 6 days, I signed up. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be Jay Shetty's student. It's again for me, it's that connection, like the way Jay talks, the message and the language he uses. It's like I'm talking to someone I know, and for me that made the difference. And whereas some other website, I just couldn't relate to whoever was behind the scene, who was writing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is brilliant. And I want to stop here a little bit because you've been doing this process for quite some time. For how long you been doing personal development? You've been working it yourself for quite some time, though. Like I
Yeah.
want to, and the reason why I want to mention it is because everybody thinks it's just like right now, some all of a sudden everything is clicking. No, it's like we've been working. Like for me, I've been doing this personal development for 10 years.
Mm.
People see all this. Oh, Omar is like doing this, all this. I'm like, hold on one second. I've been doing this process for 10 years, and I want to emphasize that because I think it's crucial that we share that with people so people don't think, well, it's like I just want to do it. It just doesn't happen that way. Trust
Yeah.
me, it doesn't happen. Ooh, it would be great if it would happen right all the magic one like I appears, look at this, beautiful. No, it doesn't. For how long you been doing the personal?
Um, I'd probably say 6 years. I can't pinpoint the moment when I started, but it just happened. I think it started when I had a relationship coach actually, and she opened that up, I think, in me, and I started reading books, and I got all into psychology, like how like human behavior, emotions, the mind, and everything. That's where I started, and like the best thing is it never stops, right? It's like
Uh,
it's once you're on that path, it's just like it never stops, and that's the amazing part because like you get to learn about yourself and grow and develop like all the time. Like just doing Jay Shetty modules, my God, that blew my mind. Like some of the exercises that we had to do, open stuff that I didn't even know was there for me.
yeah.
That's how powerful it is. But once you tap into that, that's amazing.
Yeah. And this is really awesome because oftentimes people ask me, it's like, what is the difference between J shit certification and no certification? I'm like, I have no idea, but I can tell you that I don't have any idea because I don't have any other certifications.
Yeah.
But I do have personal training certifications, and I can tell you those personal certifications. So you got to do this, and then you get your certificate. You're like personal trainer, But you can have the certifications, but if you don't do the work, still it's just like you have the certification. And the
Mm,
good part about this just certification is that you had to do the work within yourself.
yeah.
You had no option. That's
Yeah.
not a choice. You had to do all these reflections. When you start reflecting, it's like, and you obviously go deep because you just say, man, I found things that I didn't even know they
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
Why do you think, as a woman, and I want to point that out, and I don't mean to disrespect you or anything, but it's like, so woman, why do you think is it takes a lot to start inquire in?
Hmm. That's a good question. um, I don't. I'm not sure whether it's about being a woman because I know a lot of my friends do look, and like just talking from my own experience, I think it's more say. I think it's once you get that moment in life, probably, and it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. Something must have happened for you to have that, what we call that aha moment. Maybe
Mhm.
you read something or someone changed your perspective on something or opened the world of personal development to you. Like, I mean, sometimes it takes just someone to say something in a different way or for them to say it to you and for you to hear it from someone else,
Mhm.
for you to start that process and that inquiry. I think for me, it was more probably I just never stopped to do it, maybe, in like for certain things.
Mhm.
Like when we started our course, I went in, I was like, I don't think I have anything to work on. I think it's fine.
Lovely. This is lovely. What a great.
Like based on what was set out at the beginning. But that's the beauty about it. That's what I keep going back to, like now, like my different way of thinking. Just be open, right? You never know until you try something what it's gonna give you. And I mean, like, yeah, you know what those sessions gave to us. We've all gone like blew our mind, right?
Yeah.
All sort of
Yeah.
emotions. Yeah. So I think it's more that, and it's just taking time to actually think about it rather than it's actually why, like, being a woman, you wouldn't look at it.
Yeah.
Because like, guys do that as well. The guys, like, I know some of my friends, they really deep into that. They think and they reflect a lot. So, like, personally, I've not seen a difference. Yeah.
Mm. No, this is great. Thank you. Just like I said, I just want to see your perspective because obviously I'm a guy. Like, and the reason why I said this is because I grew up with the word no as a norm, and I grew up with men's don't cry, and if I cry, I'll get beat up.
Yeah.
That's how I grew up. That's the reason why I'm like, "Oh, as a woman," because, like, if I try to like show, because a different side that the one I grew up, like I will get like reprimanded, and for me it was like I think I'm like, oh man, that would be like if I wouldn't be able to take that particular limiting belief that makes on cry, I want to cry. If I feel cry, I cry. I cry. I just wrote something not long ago. I think 2-3 weeks ago. So and I'm actually made a song out of it, which is crazy. It's crazy, and it goes like, there are times that I wake up and I cry. There are times that I wake up and I smile and I write.
Mm.
You know, but those are the times. Sometimes I woke up and I'm like, I want to cry. I don't do like, oh, don't cry. Like, you do. Why you cry, man? Because I want to freaking cry. What is it?
Yeah.
And I think
Absolutely.
and I think oftentimes we suppress those feelings
Yeah.
because you shouldn't feel this. You're a guy. You shouldn't be crying.
Wow.
No, like let me go on this way. That's what I said. And for me, it's really fascinating. Now you really blow my mind. Like it's really, really, really cool. Though. Thank you so much for sharing like all your knowledge and all the wisdom you've been sharing with us. Now, what is it? What are the feelings that you have now compared to the ones that you have in the corporate world? What is the difference? Have you seen any difference? I'm really intrigued by that. Like, have you seen any difference, any feelings,
Oh.
any emotions?
Um, I definitely have more energy to do what I have to do and I need to do because I love what I'm doing.
Mm.
Because when I look back, like I was doing my job, I was the responsible, like part of the team member, and I was doing my job, whatever was required of me. So I delivered. But to do something extra, like after work, to read about something, go deeper, I was like, that was not me. And now looking back, I was like, that probably should have been a sign. I should have picked that up. Whereas now, like if you say, I can start reading stuff on the weekend, or it doesn't really matter because it's part of something that I love doing. So it's, I don't know, it's that feeling like you mentioned earlier when we talk, like that peace as well. And I know that everything I'm doing has some meaning and purpose for it. I'm also happier, much happier. Like I'm in general quite say like a happy person, but some of my friends said like since I've started the coaching thing, they've never seen me this happy in their life. So when people around you notice the difference, for me that's a big thing. That's a big sign, right?
Sure.
And yeah, I'm just more passionate about things that I'm doing. Even on the hard days, like we all have bad days, right?
Mhm.
But when I think about what is it I ultimately want to do, that gives me that motivation to actually just do one thing, even if it's a bad day. Just get up and do one thing that you have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for for everything that you're sharing, and just being so honest, so open about your story and about the things that you've been through. And you obviously have some moments where, like you say, they're not really good moments, but you're still getting the best out of it, and it's like, for me, I did a program with you, which we started in November,
Yeah.
and now, in the middle of January,
Yeah.
there's a huge change. I don't know you that well. I just know you for that program,
Hmm.
and because obviously the school, but it's a huge change, and it's lovely to see that. It really, for me, is really fascinating, and that's what I'm telling you. Like, I don't think you realize yet what do you have. This is your superpower. You gotta use it to help you. Don't use it against you. And always tell this to people. You have this superpower. There's a lot of key things that you say throughout this program. They're so powerful. And one thing that for me is like, you're very resilient, and you always follow your instinct. You only listening to yourself. And more than anything, you trust and believe in yourself before anyone else. And that's not easy to achieve. Keep doing that, because that's really powerful, though. I'll be honest with you. That's really, really powerful. I'll be honest with you. And just
Thank
like
you.
M Moreno says, your happiness shows. Your smile through the entire interview. Loved it. Thank you so much for being here. You see, I'm telling you, this is that. Nan, it's been a pleasure having you in the show. Thank you so much for reaching out and wanting to be part of the show. Is there anything that I haven't asked you and that you want to share? Anything that I didn't give you the chance to talk about it?
No, thank you so much for having me. Actually, it's been a great conversation, and I had realizations thanks to you.
Oh wow! Oh, okay, great, even better. Thank you.
That's been amazing. Yeah, and thanks everyone who joined today as well. Yeah.
Thank you. No, I mean, I don't know what to say on you, but I thank you so. No, I think the magic is within you. I think you've been doing an amazing job of just continue to inquire in and always questioning the things that you're doing, and really, really following your calling, and just being yourself. I love the fact that you gave us different examples of how you were able to reach that, and how you were able to identify it. And I don't think, like I said, I don't think a lot of people realize that. And then for me, once I noticed, I'm like, come on, I got to tell this to this person, because that's what it is. Like, it's not that easy, right? It's just like I always tell people, I'm like, I'm a success mindset coach. I'm like, you in some point in your life you achieve success. They're like, no, I haven't. I'm like, you graduate from college, from high school.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, okay. That is success. You should see that you didn't celebrate it. It's a different thing,
Yeah.
but that's called success. What did you do to make you achieve that? I don't know. Then ask yourself, what did you
Exactly.
do? Those are the things that you need to carry on. And I think sometimes we just do the things for the fun of it, and we just don't even pay attention. There are patterns. That's what I say. That there's so many patterns, and once you put it together, you put in that puzzle, and really, like it will be really powerful, which is really, really, really wonderful. And then Alejandra is here and just clapping you, because she's giving you a huge clap. But thank you so much, Nan. It's been a pleasure talking to you. You
Pleasure
blew
is
my
mine.
mind today.
Thank
You blew my
you.
mind, and I'm really, really glad that we were able to chat and people get to know you. Now, I want to share where people can find you. Where can people find you? And for those that want to follow you, you want to give your.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. You can find me there, nhanphan.coaching. And then I don't know if you've got other links, but I'm also on LinkedIn. So yeah, same, Nhan Phan Coaching. And there's my website as well, which is nhanphan.life. Yeah. So get in
Perfect.
touch if you want just to chat or just have any questions. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Please catch up with Nam because she's gonna blow your mind if you guys have any more comments. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, everybody, for watching, for being here. Thank you so much. Hope you guys enjoyed this story because it's mind blowing. I'll be honest with you, it's so powerful. Though. Thank you so much for bringing this give me this energy on this Saturday. I'm
Yeah.
so high right now. Thank you so much. See you guys next time. See you next Saturday.
Bye.